What up? Here we are again for another chapter. I looked at the chapter. Okay, so this is another reading of The Mysterious Stranger. We are going to be reading, let's see, the first two episodes we covered up to chapter 5. I'm looking at chapter 5, and it's kind of a long one, and I do have something that I'm going to do tonight. Ziggy and I are going to watch a movie. So, hi Raleigh Jones. Ziggy and I are going to watch a movie tonight. So, and it's a long movie. So we have to. I'm not gonna read probably for a whole hour, since it's already 7:11. So I'll probably read a chapter and then I'm gonna go watch a movie with Ziggy. So, all right. So I promised you guys last week that I might be doing a little camming up because I was waiting for something to get in. I know that you all seem to like it when I do, but I don't want to be so public about my face and stuff. But I have found a compromise. I don't know how this is going to go, trying to read with this on, but I'll try. All right, so this is what we've got. Like I said, it's not really comfortable to read. It's not really, it like keeps going. I'm gonna try. I'll try it for you guys. I can do it. I could do it all night long. Oh God. Okay, the bookmark is still in there. What's this picture of? Do I have a black eye? No, I don't have a black eye. No, I'm trying to like be on camera without like showing my face, but we're gonna smile, like it rides up. So I don't know. We're gonna try. I'm gonna try the reading thing. And I don't have a black eye. Ugh. I actually got quite a few of these little things to try out. I have one that's black. The black one is my favorite one, but it's got these like little scrolls at the top that keep getting caught in my hair. I don't want to use a filter, Raleigh. I want to be old school. Hi, not like Jenna's right nut. Nice to see you again. See, it keeps working up around my eyeballs. Wait, let me see if I can fix this. All right, maybe it'll stay in place. All right, let's get to reading. Like I said, I got stuff to do. And in case anybody's wondering about the music in the background, this is Slipknot on the piano. Yep, it is an hour and 57 minutes of Slipknot on the piano. So you're welcome. All right. The Mysterious Stranger by Mark Twain, chapter 6. No, chapter 5. Is that chapter 5? Oh, that's chapter 5. Yeah, that's chapter 5. I don't know my Roman numerals. Can't count either. On the 4th day comes the astrologer from his crumbling old tower up the valley, where he had heard the news, I reckon. He had a private talk with us, and we told him what we could, for we were mightily in dread of him. He sat there studying and studying a while to himself. Then he asked, "How many ducats did you say?" 1107, sir. Then he said, as if he were talking to himself, "It is very singular, yes, very strange. A curious coincidence." Then he began to ask questions and went over the whole ground from the beginning, we answering. We answering. By and by he said, 1106 ducats is a large sum. 7, said Seppi, correcting him. Oh, 7 was it? Of course, a ducat more or less isn't of consequence, but you said 706 before. It would not have been safe for us to say he was mistaken, but we knew he was. Nicholas said, "We ask pardon for the mistake, but we meant to say 7. Oh, it is no matter, lad. It was merely that I noticed the discrepancy. It is several days, and you cannot be expected to remember precisely. One is apt to be inexact when there is no particular circumstance to impress the count upon the memory." But there was one, sir," said Seppi eagerly. "What was it, my son?" asked the astrologer indifferently. "First, we all counted the piles of coins, each in turn, and all made it the same, 1106. But I had slipped one out for fun when the count began, and now I slipped it back and said, I think there is a mistake. There are 1107. Let us count again." We did, and of course, I was right. They were astonished. Then I told how it came about. The astrologer asked us if this was so, and we said it was. "That settles it," he said. "I know the thief now. Lads, the money was stolen." Then he went away, leaving us very much troubled and wondering what he could mean. In about an hour we found out, for by the time it was all over the village that Father Peter had been arrested for stealing a great sum of money from the astrologer. Everybody's tongue was loose and going. Many said it was not in Father Peter's character and must be a mistake, but the others shook their heads and said misery and want could drive a suffering man to almost anything. About one detail there were no differences. All agreed that Father Peter's account of how the money came into his hands was just about unbelievable. It had such an impossible look. They said it might have come into the astrologer's hand in some such way, but into Father Peter's, never. Our characters began to suffer now. We were Father Peter's only witnesses. How much did he probably pay us to back up his fantastic tale? People talked that kind of talk and us pretty freely to talk that kind of talk to us pretty freely and frankly, and were full of scoffings. When we begged them to believe really he had told only the truth, our parents were harder on us than anyone else. Our fathers said we were disgracing our families, and they commanded us to purge ourselves of our lie. And there was no limit to their anger when we continued to say we had spoken true. Our mothers cried over us and begged us to give back our bribe and get back our honest names and save our families from shame and come out and honorably confess. And at last, we were so worried and harassed that we tried to tell the whole thing, Satan and all, but no, it wouldn't come out. We were hoping and longing all the time that Satan would come and help us out of our trouble, but there was no sign of him. Damn, dude. See, I'm telling you, the mask thing is not going to work. Within an hour after the astrologer's talk with us, Father Peter was in prison and the money sealed up and in the hands of the officers of the law. The money was in a bag, and Solomon Isaacs said he had not touched it since he had counted it. His oath was taken that it was the same money and that the amount was 1,107 ducats. Father Peter claimed trial by the ecclesiastical court, but our other priest, Father Adolf, said an ecclesiastical court hadn't jurisdiction over a suspended priest. The bishop upheld him. That settled it. The case would go to trial in the civil court. The court would not sit for some time to come. Willem Medling would be Father Peter's lawyer and do the best he could, of course. But he told us privately that a weak case on his side and all the power and prejudice on the other made the outlook bad. So Margaret's new happiness died a quick death. No friends came to condole with her, and none were expected. An unsigned note withdrew her invitation to the party. There would be no scholars to take lessons. How could she support herself? She could remain in the house, for the mortgage was paid off, though the government and not poor Solomon Isaacs had the mortgage money in its grips for the present. Old Ursula, who was cook, chambermaid, housekeeper, laundress, and everything else for Father Peter, and had been Margaret's nurse in early years, said God would provide. But she said that from habit, for she was a good Christian. She meant to help in the providing, to make sure if she could find a way. We boys wanted to go and see Margaret and show friendliness for her, but our parents were afraid of offending the community and wouldn't let us. The astrologer was going around inflaming everybody against Father Peter and saying he was an abandoned thief and had stolen $1,100 and 7 gold ducats from him. He said he knew he was a thief from that fact, and for it was exactly the sum he had lost and which Father Peter pretended he had found. In the afternoon of the 4th day after the catastrophe, old Ursula appeared at our house and asked for some washing to do, and begged my mother to keep this secret, to save Margaret's pride, who would stop this project if she found it out. Yet Margaret had not enough to eat and was growing weak. Ursula was growing weak herself and showed it, and she ate of the food that was offered her like a starving person, but could not be persuaded to carry any home, for Margaret would not eat charity food. She took some clothes down to the stream to wash them, but we saw from the window that handling the bat was too much for her strength. So she was called back and a trifle of money offered her, which she was afraid to take lest Margaret should suspect. Then she took it, saying she would explain that she found it in the road. To keep it from being a lie and damning her soul, she got me to drop it while she watched. Then she went along by there and found it, and exclaimed with surprise and joy, and picked it up and went her way. Like the rest of the village, she could tell every day lies fast enough and without taking any precautions against fire and brimstone on their account. But this was a new kind of lie, and it had a dangerous look because she hadn't had any practice in it. After a week's practice, it wouldn't have given her any trouble. It is the way we are made. Hi, Rain. These masks aren't as easy to wear and like read and do stuff in as the TVs and make them look. I was in trouble, for how would Margaret live? Ursula could not find a coin in the road every day, perhaps not even a second one. And I was ashamed too for not having been near Margaret. And she's so in need of friends. But that was my parents' fault, not mine, and I couldn't help it. I was walking along the path, feeling very downhearted, when a most cheery and tingling, freshening up sensation went rippling through me, and I was too glad for any words, for I knew by that sign that Satan was by. I had noticed it before. Next moment, he was alongside of me, and I was telling him all my trouble and what had been happening to Margaret and her uncle. While we were talking, we turned a curve and saw old Ursula resting in the shade of a tree, and she had a lean stray kitten in her lap and was petting it. I asked her where she got it, and she said it came out of the woods. My eyeballs are dry. She said it came out of the woods and followed her, and she said it probably hadn't any mother or any friends, and she was going to take it home and take care of it. Satan said, I understand you are very poor. Why do you want to add another mouth to feed? Why don't you give it to some rich person? Ursula bridled at this and said, perhaps you would like to have it. You must be rich, with your fine clothes and quality airs. Then she sniffed and said, give it to the rich. The idea. The rich don't care for anybody but themselves. It's only the poor that have feeling for the poor and help them. The poor and God. God will provide for this kitten. What makes you think so? Ursula's eyes snapped with anger. Because I know it, she said. Not a sparrow falls to the ground without his seeing it. But it falls just the same. What good is seeing it fall? Old Ursula's, damn, that's hard to say. Old Ursula's jaws worked, but she could not get any words out for the moment. She was so horrified. When she got her tongue, she stormed out. Go about your business, you puppy, or I will take a stick to you. I could not speak. I was so scared. I knew that with his notions about the human race, Satan would consider it a matter of no consequence to strike her dead. There being plenty more, but my tongue stood still. I could give her no warning, but nothing happened. Satan remained tranquil and indifferent. I suppose he could not be insulted by Ursula any more than the king could be insulted by a tumblebug. The old woman jumped to her feet when she made her remark and did it as briskly as a young girl. It had been many years since she had done the like of that. That was Satan's influence. He was a fresh breeze to the weak and the sick, wherever he came. His presence of... Ma'am. Oh, shit. I lost my place. That was Satan's influence. He was a fresh breeze to the weak and the sick wherever he came. His presence affected even the lean kitten, and it skipped to the ground and began to chase the leaf. This surprised Ursula, and she stood looking at the creature and nodding her head wonderingly, her anger quite forgotten. What's come over it? She said. A while ago it could hardly walk. You have not seen a kitten of that breed before, said Satan. Ursula was not proposing to be friendly with the mocking stranger, and she gave him an ungentle look and retorted, Who asked you to come here and pester me? I'd like to know. And what do you know about what I've seen and what I haven't seen? You haven't seen a kitten with the hair spines on its tongue pointing to the front, have you? No, nor you either. Well, examine this one and see. Ursula was become pretty spry, but the kitten was sprier, and she could not catch it, and had to give it up. Then Satan said, Give it a name, and maybe it will come. Ursula tried several times, but the kitten was not interested. Call it Agnes. Try that. The creature answered to the name and came. Ursula examined its tongue. Upon my word, it's true, she said. I have not seen this kind of cat before. Is it yours? No. Then how did you know its name? How did you know its name so pat? Because all cats of that breed are named Agnes. They will not answer to any other. Ursula was impressed. It is the most wonderful thing. Then a shadow of trouble came into her face, for her superstitions were aroused, and she reluctantly put the creature down, saying, I suppose I must let it go. I am not afraid. No, not exactly that, though the priest, well, I've heard people, indeed many people, and besides, it is quite well now and can take care of itself. She sighed and turned to go, murmuring, It is such a pretty one, too, and would be such company. And the house is so sad and lonesome these troubled days. Miss Margaret so mournful and just a shadow, and the old master shut up in jail. It seems a pity not to keep it, said Satan. Ursula turned quickly, just as if she were hoping someone would encourage her. Why, she said wistfully, because his breed brings luck. Does it? Is it true? Young man, do you know it to be true? How does it bring luck? Well, it brings money anyway. Where did it go? All right. I took a break. Ursula looked disappointed. Money? A cat bring money? The idea. You could never sell it here. People do not buy cats here. One can't even give them away. She turned to go. I don't mean sell it. I mean have an income from it. This cat is called the Lucky Cat. Its owner finds 4 silver Goshen in his pocket every morning. I saw the indignation rising in the old woman's face. She was insulted. This boy was making fun of her. That was her thought. She thrust her hands into her pockets and straightened up to give him a piece of her mind. Her temper was all up and hot. Her mouth came open and let out 3 words of a bitter sentence. Then it fell silent, and the anger in her face turned to surprise or wonder or fear or something, And she slowly brought out her hands from her pockets and opened them and held them so. In one was my piece of money, in the other lay 4 silver Goshen. She gazed a little while, perhaps to see if the Goshen would vanish away. Then she said fervently, it's true, and I'm ashamed and beg forgiveness. Oh, dear master and benefactor. And she ran to Satan and kissed his hands over and over again, according to the Austrian custom. In her heart, she probably believed it was a witch, a, a witch cat, and an agent of the devil. But no matter, it was all the more certain to be able to keep its contract and furnish a daily good living for the family. And in matters of finance, even the pious of our peasants would have more confidence in an arrangement with the devil than with an archangel. Ursula started homeward with Agnes in her arms, and I said I wished I had her privilege. I wish I had her privilege of seeing Margot. Then I caught my breath, for we were there in the parlor, and Margaret standing looking at us, astonished. She was feeble and pale, but I knew that those conditions would not last in Satan's atmosphere, and it turned out so. I introduced Satan, that is Philip Traum, and we sat down and talked. There was no constraint. We were simple folk in our village, and when a stranger was a pleasant person, we were soon friends. Margaret wondered how we got in without her hearing us. Traum said the door was open, and we walked in and waited until she would turn around and greet us. This was not true. No door was open. We entered through the walls or the roof or down the chimney or somehow, but no matter what Satan wished a person to believe, the person was sure to believe. And so Margaret was quite satisfied with that explanation. And then the main part of her mind was on Traum. Anyway, she couldn't keep her eyes off him. He was so beautiful. That gratified me and made me proud. I hoped he would show off some, but he didn't. He seemed only interested in being friendly and telling lies. He said he was an orphan. That made Margaret pity him. The water came into her eyes. He said he had never known his mama. She passed away while he was a young thing, and said his papa was in shattered health and had no property to speak of. In fact, none of any earthly value. But he had an uncle in business down in the tropics, and he was very well off and had a monopoly. And it was from this uncle that he drew his support. The very mention of a kind uncle was enough to remind Margaret of her own, and her eyes filled again. She said she hoped their 2 uncles would meet someday. It made me shudder. Philip said he hoped so too, and that made me shudder again. Maybe we will, said Margaret. Does your uncle travel much? Oh, yes, he goes all about. He has business everywhere. And so they went on chattering, and poor Margaret forgot her sorrow for one little while anyway. I need something to follow on with. It was probably the only really bright and cheery hour she had known lately. I saw she liked Philip, and I knew she would. And when he told her he was studying for what is it, little boy? For the ministry, I could see that she liked him better than ever. And then when he promised to get her admitted to the jail so that she could see her uncle, that was the capstone. He said he would give the guards a little present, and she must always go in the evening after dark and say nothing, but just show this paper and pass in, and show it again when you come out. And he scribbled some queer marks on the paper and gave it to her. And she was ever so thankful, and right away was in a fever for the sun to go down. For in that old cruel time, prisoners were not allowed to see their friends, and sometimes they spent years in the jails without ever seeing a friendly face. I judged that the marks on the paper were an enchantment, and that the guards would not know what they were doing, nor have any memory of it afterwards. And that was indeed the way of it. Ursula put her head in at the door now and said, "Supper's ready, miss." Then she saw us and looked frightened, and motioned me to come to her, which I did, and she asked if we had told about the cat. I said no, and she was relieved and said, "Please don't, for if Miss Margaret knew, she would think it was an unholy cat and would send for a priest and have its gifts all purified out of it. And then there wouldn't be any more dividends." So I said I wouldn't tell, and she was satisfied. Then I was beginning to say goodbye to Margaret, but Satan interrupted and said ever so politely, "Well, I don't remember just the words, but anyway, he as good as invited himself to supper, and me too." Of course, Margaret was miserably embarrassed, for she had no reason to suppose there would be half enough for a sick bird. Ursula heard him, and she came straight into the room, not a bit pleased. At first she was astonished to see Margaret looking so fresh and rosy, and said so. Then she spoke up in her native tongue, which was Bohemian, and said, as I learned afterward, "Send him away, Miss Margaret. There's not victuals enough." Before Margaret could speak, Satan had the word and was talking back to Ursula in her own language, which was a surprise to her and for her mistress too. He said, Didn't I see you down the road a while?" "Yes, sir." "Ah, that pleases me. I see you remember me." He stepped to her and whispered, "I told you it is a lucky cat. Don't be troubled. It will provide." That sponged the slate of Ursula's feelings clean of its anxieties, and a deep financial joy shone in her eyes. The cat's value was augmenting. It was getting full time for Margaret to take some sort of notice of Satan's invitation. And she did it in the best way. The honest way that was natural to her. She said she had little to offer, but that we were welcome if we would share it with her. We had supper in the kitchen, and Ursula waited at table. A small fish was in the frying pan, crisp and brown and tempting, and one could see that Margaret was not expecting such respectable food as this. Ursula brought it, and Margaret divided it between Satan and me, declining to take any of it herself, and was beginning to say she did not care for fish today, but she did not finish this remark. It was because she noticed that another fish had appeared in the pan. She looked surprised, but did not say anything. She probably meant to inquire of Ursula about this later. There were other surprises: flesh and game and wines and fruits, things which had been strangers in that house lately, but Margaret made no exclamations and now even looked unsurprised, which was Satan's influence, of course. Satan talked right along and was entertaining and made the time pass pleasantly and cheerfully. And although he told a good many lies, it was no harm in him, for he was only an angel and did not know any better. They do not know right from wrong. I knew this because I remembered what he had said about it. He got on the good side of Ursula. He praised her to Margaret confidentially, but speaking just loud enough for Ursula to hear. He said she was a fine woman. Oh, damn it. He said she was a fine woman, and he hoped someday to bring her and his uncle together. Very soon, Ursula was mincing and simpering around in a ridiculous girly way, and smoothing out her gown and prinking at herself like a foolish old hen, and all the time pretending she was not hearing what Satan was saying. I was ashamed, for it showed us to be what Satan considered us, a silly race and trivial. Satan said his uncle entertained a great deal, and to have a clever woman presiding over the festivities would double the attractions of the place. Almost done, guys. Like I said, I'm only going to read this one chapter, and it's almost been an hour anyway. But your uncle is a gentleman, isn't he? Asked Margaret. Yes, said Satan indifferently. Hey, baby Gotti. Yes, said Satan indifferently. Some even call him a prince, out of compliment, but he is not bigoted. To him, personal merit is everything. Rank is nothing. My hand was hanging down by my chair. Agnes came along and licked it. By this act, a secret was revealed. I started to say, it is all a mistake. This is just a common, ordinary cat. And the hair needles on her tongue point inward, not outward. But the words did not come, because they couldn't. Satan smiled upon me, and I understood. When it was dark, Margaret took food and wine and fruit in a basket and hurried away to the jail, and Satan and I walked toward my home. I was thinking to myself that I should like to see what the inside of the jail was like. Satan overheard the thought, and the next moment we were in the jail. We were in the torture chamber, Satan said, and the rack was there, and the other instruments, and there was a smoky lantern or two hanging on the walls and helping to make the place look dim and dreadful. There were people there and executioners, but as they took no notice of us, it meant that we were invisible. A young man lay bound, and Satan said he was suspected of being a heretic, and the executioners were about to inquire into it. They asked the man to confess to the charges, and he said he could not, for it was not true. Then they drove splinter after splinter under his nails, and he shrieked with the pain. Satan was not disturbed, but I could not endure it, and had to be whisked out of there. I was faint and sick, but the fresh air revived me, and we walked toward my home. I said it was a brutal thing. No, it is a human thing. You should not insult the brutes by such a misuse of the words. They have not deserved it. And he went on talking. And he went on talking like that. It is like your paltry race, always lying, always claiming virtues which it hasn't got, always denying them to the higher animals, which alone possess none. No brute ever does a cruel thing. That is the monopoly of those with the moral sense. When a brute inflicts pain, he does it innocently. It is not wrong. For him, there is no such thing as wrong. And he does not inflict pain for the pleasure of inflicting pain, of inflicting it. Only man does that, inspired by that mongrel moral sense of his. A sense whose function is to distinguish between right and wrong, with liberty to choose which of them he will do. Now, what advantage can he get out of that? He is always choosing, and in 9 cases out of 10, he prefers the wrong. There shouldn't be any wrong, and without the moral sense, there couldn't be any. And yet, he is such an unreasoning creature that he is not able to perceive that the moral sense degrades him to the bottom layer of animated beings and is a shameful possession. Are you feeling better? Let me show you something. And that's the end of the chapter. I'm glad you guys like it. Uh-oh. I've lost my... Oh, there it is. All right, that is the end of that chapter. I will do another chapter next week on Tuesdays, every Tuesday night. This is the thing. So now I'm going to finish smoking this bowl. It's my last bowl, and I'm out of weed. Until my tomato girl shows up. Ugh. What are you doing, mouse? Church? Little church mouse. Come here, little son. Come here, little son. Y'all, this is Church. This is Ziggy's cat. It's going to be his son. You smell like my bed. You smell good. You been in my bed? All right. I will drop the link in case anybody wants to come up and chat for a few minutes, but then I'm going to shut it down. Damn. I want more weed. Yeah, so Ziggy and I started watching the yeah, exactly. We all want more weed. Ziggy and I started watching the Pirates of the Caribbean the other day, and like I don't know. He really enjoyed it. So I was like, we got to finish those movies. We at least got to get to the third. We got to get through this one. We're on the last one of the first storyline. And then there's the weird one with Blackbeard. And then it kind of goes back to the storyline. The last one was the movie that they had to replace it halfway through with like a CGI or body double of Johnny Depp because of the whole Amber Heard thing, and they were like in the middle of filming that. So he actually didn't finish making that. So that was the fifth one. We're on the third one. There's five. I looked it up because I kept getting it wrong. I was like, I feel like because I thought they made the last, okay, so At World's End, I thought they split that one up. I thought there was an At World's End part 1 and part 2. I actually didn't realize that it was all just one long ass fucking movie. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes. That's 3 hours. What is that? I don't know what that was. Yeah, it's like 3 hour movie, but yeah, so instead of splitting it up, they what's up, baby Gotti?
Why, hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How do we
I'm
know
very
each
well.
other? You said you
We
know me.
really, we, we really don't. I was just kind of kidding, but we have a lot of mutual acquaintances. So my name is Drew. Pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
Oh, you know Shankat,
I
right?
Shankam's one of my besties, my best buddy in the world.
Okay.
I love that dirty death.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes.
I even
She's
know Mr. Jeffa Caves. I know Jeff and all those people too.
okay. Yeah. Vanguard. What? That's
What?
that's
What?
the only thing. What? What?
Can't get that. Yeah. What? Such what is the
And
time
he
to tell
always
you?
says, and every time I see him on a panel, he's like, "I've never been on a panel with you before." I'm like, "Are you kidding?"
I know Mr. Kevin very well as well. We go back a couple years, so in case you are one, me to vouch, they can vouch for me. I promise.
No, you seem all right. I've seen you around in the last
All
couple
right.
days. Yeah,
Well, now we're no longer strangers anymore.
we're not strangers anymore, but we're not exactly
Uh,
friends.
No, but well, how do you get to know somebody? You got to talk to them, right?
Yeah, and
You get to know 'em. So
my boyfriend Ziggy, right?
I do know Ziggles. I don't think he remembers me too much, but yes, I know Zigglesworth.
Okay.
He tends to go in and out. Like he. No offense, he drinks a couple, from time to
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah, he does. We're working together on that with being a little bit more.
right.
You
But Ziggy and I have never had a problem together or anything. We've
Oh,
always got along, fairly
yeah,
well. So yeah.
yeah.
So hopefully you're having a good evening.
I am. I am.
Good.
I just got off work a little while ago, and the daylight is now okay. So like my I get off work around 6 o'clock, and
Okay.
for the first time in a long time, we've actually had daylight for like there was daylight for like an hour after I got off work, so I wasn't doing things in
Hmm.
the dark,
But
doing
I used to, yeah, I understand completely. But you go in when there's no light, you come out when there's no light, you feel like a vampire.
well, I work from home, so I don't really
Oh,
leave here, but it sucks like it sucks I can't get up any earlier than I already do. And I can't, when I get off work and anything I was doing outside because it's wintertime, it's dark out there. So I'm walking around with flashlights and shit. But now the days are getting longer, so I can actually do
a little
stuff.
bit more daylight.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Here in
Right,
a
that's
little while,
awesome, though. I'm
go
happy.
outside and go outside and mow the lawn for a couple hours when I get off work.
Well, hopefully you don't have too big of a yard, because, I mean, if you have a whole huge yard, that sucks.
Two and
Mowing
a
the
half
lawn.
acres. 2.5 acres
Yeah,
with push
that's got to take you a little while to do that.
with
Hopefully you've got a
much
nice riding
mower.
lawnmower.
With a
You have a
push
push
mower.
mower?
Mhm.
Fuck that shit. I'd
Yeah.
invest in a John
Oh
Deere.
no. Oh no. That is my. I have a riding lawnmower. I have a really nice, like big zero turn Toro
Right.
professional. That is my mom's lawnmower.
I like it.
She's
No
allowed
offense.
to. No, it's for her. It's here for her. She's allowed to
Right.
ride it when she wants to contribute and feel like she's doing something, which she can't hardly really even do that anymore. So, well, whatever.
Right.
That's your lawnmower. I use the push mower. That is my exercise. I don't give a shit what anybody else says. My legs in summertime look better than any fucking body else's because I'm out there pushing
Okay.
a
Well,
mower
no,
2.5 acres.
but like, no, you said a professional lawnmower. Like, have you ever heard of an unprofessional lawnmower before?
Well,
Like, is that a thing?
I mean, it's commercial grade, not. I said it wrong.
I've never heard somebody call like an unprofessional lawnmower. Yeah.
Commercial grade.
Commercial grade. All right. I had a zero turn once too. Those things are fucking amazingly nice.
Yeah,
They're
they
really,
are.
it's really hard to like get a hang of like from the first like couple of times because like if you just scoot it an inch, it like just goes off on you. Like doing wheelies and shit in your yard.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
like it. Anytime I've ever driven it, I didn't really like it. I like pushing it. That's my thing.
that's good. I mean, well, it's good. Like, if that's what, you like to do with your exercise and everything, I completely understand, you know, and
It's
you got to work
entertaining.
out those legs.
It's like meditation. A lot of people meditate. I can't do that shit. I fall asleep in 5 minutes. But
Yeah, I get you, man.
that's my form of meditation. Like I'm out there jamming out, just processing life.
Yep. In your own little world and getting your mind clear of everything and thinking about everything and nothing at once, right?
Yeah, trying not to run over my chickens. They'll get right in front. They'll if because there's something. So when you mow the lawn and stuff, like it turns up bugs and the little grass clippings and stuff. They will get
Oh, yeah.
right in front of it. They'll just run right in front of it if they see a bug. They don't even care. They're not afraid of anything.
They're fearless little birds. I
Yeah.
gotcha. So, how many chickens do you have now, if you don't mind me asking?
I
If I
have
may ask.
okay. So I have 6 full-grown laying hens, 1 rooster, and I have 12, no, 11. One of them died. Baby
I'm sorry to hear
chicks.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
It
That's
happens.
awesome.
It's, you know, it happens. That's why I get them from Tractor Supply because they replace them.
Right, but how much does a chicken actually cost? Like, how much does one chick cost at Tractor
$6.
Supply?
Well, it depends on the breed. It depends on the breed. It depends
Okay.
on what it is. You can get straight runs. Those are they usually price those cheaper because they haven't been sexed. So you don't know if you're getting if you buy 6 of them, you don't know if you're getting 6 hens or 6 roosters or a mix of both.
Yeah.
But so they haven't been sexed. Those usually run a little bit cheaper, but it all depends on the breed. They usually run around the ones I got were $6 a piece.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
actually relatively cheap for like chickens. You
Yeah, I mean it is. You know what's cheaper than that? Make hatching your own, which I'm supposed to my mom actually bought me an incubator the other day. I was like, "Damn mom, are you really wanting some grandkids, aren't you?" She's like, "Well, no, I just thought you could make your own." So, I'm going to
well, I
start
mean,
I'm
well,
going to
that's
start
cool.
that.
Hopefully everything works out for you on your if you're gonna start, I guess, breeding them on your own. I guess that's
Just
cool.
make them more even not trying to sell them or anything like that. Just sell them locally to people that want to.
Right. Get in the game as well, as they say.
Yeah, wanted to get it. Want to get in the chicken game. I suspect that about 90 to 120 days from now, there's going to be a bunch of free chicken shit on like
Ooh.
chicken stuff, chicken raising stuff on Facebook when the price of eggs goes down and everybody's like, man, this is a lot harder than I thought it was. Let's just buy eggs from the grocery store. Yeah, there's going to
Right.
be,
Cause I don't know. They're like $9 a carton or like a carton now.
yeah.
In Ohio they are. I think you're like in North Carolina, one of the Carolinas or something like that, correct?
I am in the Carolinas. They're
Okay.
about so last time I was in Walmart, I looked at the eggs just for shits and giggles, and the
Right.
organic free range, which is comparable to what I have. My birds aren't they don't eat organic feed, and there's no telling what the shit they get into. They eat cat
Right.
food. That shit's not organic, so yeah, I could never call them organic, but that even those so organic free range a dozen eggs about $7, so
Okay.
a whole lot of money to be paying for eggs, but I
Yeah,
guess
for
it's not
real.
as much as it is at other places. So
I'm sure like places in like New York and California, like it's going to be a lot more expensive than our states. But still, I mean, hopefully the chicken population gets back to where it needs to be, and we can start. The prices will start dropping. I should say.
right, right.
Right. Right. Indeed. But there are 5 Pirates of the Caribbean. So that's a lot of
Five.
pirating.
There. Oh my God! Which one of you has gas?
It's me. I did it. I farted.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah.
Oh, get, get. Oh my God. Your butt smells.
I am a baby. I'm only like 2 years old.
No, it's the cat. It's definitely
Oh,
it's
okay.
the cat. That's definitely a cat fart.
Okay.
Um,
Cat farts are the worst farts. They really are. I have a cat. I have a fat fluffy ball of like fur. Like she's a huge chunky monkey, and when she gets into something, because she does eat people food, I give her people food, which I know you're not really supposed to, but I don't care. Her farts smell like death.
cats, it's okay. Really, it's pretty okay for cats. They have a different processing system than dogs.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I know they do.
there are
Oh
some
yeah.
things. There are some like things that are different, and that they can have. Like I think they can have certain herbs and things and spices that dogs
Hmm.
can't have. Dogs pretty much can't have anything, but it's not so bad for cats. But milk and
It's
dairy
bad.
products is
Are very
bad.
bad for cats.
I had a cat who had a stone. She developed stones. She would eat ice cream. Like I would lay in bed with my cat and I would
Hmm.
eat a spoonful of ice cream and I'd put a spoon for her and she'd eat ice cream and yogurt, all that shit.
Hmm.
And the doctor was like, "Well, this is $800 since you had to feed your cat milk stuff." I'm like, "I didn't fucking know. Nobody ever told me." I always
I
grew
believe
up
cats
hearing
are.
people giving cats milk and shit. That is so bad for them.
I believe
They
cats are lactose intolerant to like normal, what we consider normal. I believe they're kind of lactose intolerant towards it,
well,
which is
I
odd.
guess their body can't process it or something, and they develop stones like
Hmm.
kidney stones and shit. Yeah,
Which is really weird because cats are actually mammals that are the only mammals that can actually survive off salt water because they have a very good kidney filtration system. Like they actually live off salt water.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, cats are weird, but I still love cats. Are my all-time favorite animals. They really are. I'm a
I'm
cat
not
guy.
I'm not prejudiced. I love all animals. I've raised baby squirrels.
Oh,
I have had squirrels in here. I even think possums are cute. I like all animals. I'm not prejudiced against one or the other. I had a dog a long time ago, and when she died, I never got another dog because I I never bonded with another dog like that. Not to
yeah,
mention my lifestyle was not really conducive to having a dog. And I'm not one of those people that's gonna shove a German Shepherd inside of a two-bedroom apartment, you know, and then
right.
go to
Keep them in a
work.
cage all day long.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then go to work 65 hours a week.
yeah. Screw that. Yeah,
Yeah, so it worked out for me having a cat and never getting a dog. Now that I've got property, I would like to get I'd like to get a dog again, my dog,
right.
my buddy.
Well, you never know. Now you have the opportunity to if you want, and that's something I guess you're
Yeah,
just gonna have to figure out down the road.
I have a dog. I have a dog right now. It's actually not my dog. I've been long-term pet sitting this dog for like a year now.
So it's basically your dog, though.
Yeah, it's basically my well, her mom no, her mom comes and gets her every weekend. She takes her on
Oh,
trips and like, yeah, um but she was the mom, her mom was moving here. She was relocating to the area and
okay,
she was going to be staying with her family, and her somebody in the family was allergic to dogs and the dog couldn't stay there. So that's
okay.
why she needed somewhere else for the dog to stay. But she's about to get an apartment, knock on wood. So,
Hmm. Yeah, hopefully that she'll be able to get her baby again. But yeah, like you
yeah,
said, knock on wood.
I'm gonna miss her though. I've gotten kind of used to having her around. She's a good dog too. She's really sweet.
Yeah. Um, I was kind of like you, and a certain. I had a dog that like was my best friend, followed me everywhere. And then I broke up with my fiance, and she ended
Hmm.
up taking the dog. And ever since then, I just couldn't really bond well with another dog. If so, I totally understand what
Well,
you were
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Like the dog even ran away from her, and after about like 4 or 5 months. And honey pups never ran away from like anything. She was such a well behaved dog. So
yeah,
I think she was trying to find me because I mean, no, like not to get like too graphic, but I mean, everywhere I went, Honey went to the bathroom, to McDonald's, anywhere. Honey was right beside me. So I completely understand what you're saying, there, Miss Jen. I really do.
yeah, and
Yeah,
yeah, it's a thing. And like I've met lots of nice dogs. I've been looking for dogs at different points in my life, and I've been like, oh, that would be a nice dog to have, but that bond is just
well, have you
uh,
ever just thought about getting a puppy, like, and then because you gotta. I think like if you're
if
gonna
I
get
get
something,
yeah, when I get another dog, it will be a puppy. It will be.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that way you can raise it how you want to and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the best kind. I think rescue dogs are the best kind of animals too. Like I've always had really good
Yeah.
experiences with rescue dogs. Yeah,
Yeah.
or animals in general. Yeah.
I'd like to have they're so ugly, but my sister has one. He's a German wire hair,
Never
and they
heard of those.
oh, they're a German breed dog, and they look like they've got a big bushy beard,
Okay.
basically. Um, I don't like wire hair dogs. It's not a fun dog to pet, but he's got a real good temperament. And
Right.
yeah, I like those dogs. I would love to have a French bulldog, but they are if you get a French bulldog, you're basically playing Russian roulette. It could never cost you more than just normal vet bills, or it could cost you thousands of dollars.
Right. Right.
Because of the shit that they have, the problems that they have with their breed. They're so
Hmm.
stinking cute, though. I love them.
I'll have to look them up later. But if I had a dream dog, it'd be like the Siberian Mastiff.
Yeah, those are good dogs.
Those are like lions. I can like
Rottweilers are
ride
good
them,
dogs. I like those dogs too.
like
Um,
ride them into town.
shit, where is my tomato bitch?
I
She needs
don't
to hurry
know. I
up.
don't have them,
She needs to come bring me my tomatoes.
but as far as like, I don't know. I kind of get. I'm older. I'm probably around the same age as you are, though. Like I'm 40. You
Yeah.
know. I don't like that best friend cocaine energy right when I walk through the door anymore. Like, where you been all day? Where you been? Where you doing? Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's why I like cats.
Well,
They're just kind of chill and
that's the thing about cats. Like, okay, so I was dating this feller for a while. It's been 4 years ago when I first bought this house.
okay.
I was dating this feller and he wanted to go get a dog. And I was like, okay, uh, our dog, your dog, whose dog? Not
Hmm.
mine. Not mine. But he was okay, so he lived on a boat.
A
He was
boat.
living in a boat in a different place. Like you have to take a ferry to get to where he was living. And
Okay.
so he was coming and staying the weekends, and he he comes one weekend and he's like, I found this dog online. It's at this shelter. Let's go look at this dog. I'm like, okay. We go and we look at that dog, and he left that, and he adopted that dog, put that dog in his name. That was his dog.
Yeah, right.
And it was a puppy. It was a, well, it wasn't puppy, but it was a, I guess it was probably, I would say it was 10 months to a little over a year old.
Okay.
And so it was a young dog. Well, after the first weekend, it was not convenient for him to take the dog back to the boat. And then there were like 3 or 4 weekends when he didn't show up. So I was here with this dog, and I was, I'm not just going to beat the dog for doing wrong thing. I was trying to train the dog and everything. And dogs are hands-on training. You have to get them on a routine. You have to do all that shit. Yeah. It's cats.
Repetition.
It's like, here's your food. Here's your litter box. Do your own thing, because it's going to do its own thing anyway. So once it figures out how to shit in the litter box,
you're golden. You're golden. You're set.
There's pretty much nothing else to do.
Nope. But yeah, with having a puppy, or especially like a dog at that late in the stage in the game, like a 10-month to a year period, you have to be so on them repetitively. It's repetition, repetition, repetition. And if you skip it, they're just still not going to learn. They're just going to,
I feel so bad. Like, it haunts me to this day, because that dog had a good personality, and it would have been a really good dog.
Okay.
But I don't know what the fuck happened to that dude. And
Me either.
I don't know, I don't know what happened to the dog, and I don't know what happened to him. I know what happened to him, because I seen him in court.
Uh-oh.
I seen him in court about 6 months after he disappeared. So I know what happened to him, but I imagine that he probably either took that dog back to the shelter or gave it to somebody that came across.
Right.
Yeah, and it hurts my feelings, because I'm like, damn, man, I didn't bond with the dog, but it's an animal that I cared for, and I'm always going to wonder, I'm always going to hope, I hope it's all right. But
yeah, absolutely. Because I guess it's kind of bad to say, but sometimes I have more compassion for animals and pets than I do some humans. I don't know if that's wrong to say, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Yep. At least
I would probably, there are more than a few people in this life that I would step over them if they were bleeding and dying to rescue the kitten on the other side.
Yep, it's stuck in a tree. Absolutely. 110% agree with you on that one as well, Jam.
Right.
So have you eaten dinner yet? Like, you promised me, I think you were eating like lobster or something the last time we had talked.
Oh yeah, I was eating lobster the other. No, I haven't had dinner yet.
Why not? You should eat.
It's probably gonna be leftover soup. I'm on a medication that makes me really nauseous, and I never know what is gonna do it, and it seems to be greasy food, and I ate a cheeseburger. I ate a cheeseburger between yesterday and today, and it's already, my stomach is like, hey, motherfucker, what do you think you're doing? What do you think you're putting in these waters?
Yep. Oh god, because I just got put on. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I just got put on 10 new medications because I was in the hospital. Yeah, and one of them is like I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
A little over a year and a half ago, I was on 6 different antipsychotic medications.
Oh wow.
I am on 0. No. The only thing I take is this current medication. Oh, hang on a second.
Oh yeah. Um, what is that's on my list? I gotta take that one still. No, they're not. No, no, these are not analytic. Shit, I forgot to be my mic. There's a beer singing about. Like I'm goddamn Ethel Merman up in here. Beat-a-boo-da-boo. Wang. Auntie Rain. Auntie Rain. Hello, Auntie Rain.
Hi, baby Gotti. Hi,
How's
Jan.
how's my favorite auntie? She's on the phone.
I'm on the phone. What do you
She's on
mean?
the phone. She's on the phone call. I'm trying to work on my kid's voice. How's this? Does that sound like a little kid?
It could be a lot more high pitched.
I can't get that high pitch. I kind of got it like a deep voice. If I have to if I smash my nuts with a wooden hammer, I might be able to get a little bit more higher.
Hi, Jan. Is she there?
She's on the phone call. I told you.
Oh, she's on a phone call. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she's hollering at somebody. She's on her holler box.
I thought you. I thought you meant me.
No, not you. I was talking about Miss Dan. So how are you doing today, Auntie Rain?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I was working on a little got rap song.
A little got rap song.
Yeah, little got eating them tater tots with my dino nuggies, riding around. I'm a little rascal looking for the finest honeys.
That's good.
Just taking my private jet to Aspen, fuck some snow bunnies. Asked my dad for some money. He said, "Son, I ain't made of money." So that's all the further I got. But I think it's pretty good for like 5 minutes, like taking a shit in the bathroom.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, little little tater
Little
tot,
got.
little got. Yeah. So what have you been up to today?
Oh, not much. Just stuff I had
Hey,
to take care of, and like, yeah, I'm just chilling now.
right on, right on. I went to the store today. Uh, my ex came over for a little bit, did some hanky spanky. Um,
Oh wow.
well, I mean, come on now. I mean, everybody's human here, and I mean, she comes back here for a reason, you know.
But she's an ex for a reason too, right?
Yeah, she is, but still, I mean, we all have needs, Ring. We all have needs. Oh, guess who came out of retirement today?
Who, Will?
Well, yeah, Mr. Durante. Yeah,
Did he
he's
finally
officially
go
back there.
live? I just saw that
No, he
he
didn't go
posted a
live, but
new
he was in chat room for a little bit. So I saw him talking shit about me. So I'm like, man, did I really drive him out of retirement? I must have.
Why would he talk shit about you?
We do not get along at all. Like there's a huge history between Will and I, or Mr. Eric and I.
Oh,
Huge. Yeah. It all starts back to a long time ago, a galaxy far away. So maybe one day I'll tell you about it.
oh, okay,
It,
yeah, because I
it's
only heard about you like by word of mouth, like
uh oh.
I only heard not much though, just like, oh, there's Drew person, like people would bring you up, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm that one guy with a beard and the face and the hair. That's me.
Well, that's practically everybody.
Well, they don't have long. Not all of these have long hair.
Like
I have long
long
hair.
beard
I,
hair.
I have I have long hair for a guy. Yeah.
Oh, like on your head.
Yeah. And get no on my kneecaps, Rain. I have really long kneecap hair.
Well, I didn't. I wasn't
Gets
sure
on
if
my
you meant
head.
like long beard hair or like yeah.
No, I've got a short beard. It's trimmed for the most part. It's short, neatly kept, kind of. It hasn't. Well, I haven't touched it since I've been in the hospital, so like it's got a little bit of unevenness to it.
Tomatoes are on the way.
Hey,
Cucumbers are here to stay. Yeah. Sorry.
hi Jen.
Hey,
All right,
Rain.
Dan.
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Just listening to some Slipknot on the piano.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
Slipknot piano.
Did you?
I got to see that. I've seen them a couple times live. Slipknot.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I would think you would go see Maiden.
No, no, no. I don't tell Dad this. I fucking hate Iron Maiden. I
Oh
really do.
shit, he's not gonna
Yeah.
like that.
That's why you're not supposed to tell him. I don't get into like the '80s rock. I really don't.
You better not hear him. You better not let him hear you say that.
I know. I like '80s pop and '80s like the synth part of the '80s, like Depeche Mode and stuff like that. Like that's the kind of '80s I got into.
Yeah, I love Depeche Mode and like yeah, The Cure, stuff like
Cure,
that. A lot
Cure,
of
and I like Aha, and
stuff. I like a lot of stuff with synth. Yeah.
yes, I'm a synth guy.
Well, you got that from your auntie.
Yes, I got that from my kick-ass auntie.
I mean,
I
That was
like
more of a
I was the one that introduced like The Cure to JT,
oh,
and
that's cool.
yeah, he likes it.
I like all the types of music except for most of Ziggy's music.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
Ziggy's music.
God, it's so bad. Oh, and it's so that's why when he's like playing me songs, I'm like, okay, I will take this Slipknot and I will find a piano version of this.
You better not let him hear you say that.
I do. I
Um,
like metal music,
he knows that I can't take like large doses of his music. It's just so loud and angry.
but I also get into a lot of other stuff though too.
Well,
Like, what
he's
do you listen
loud
to?
and angry. I'm just
Yeah, like
kidding.
I hate my daddy music. Yeah, I hate my father.
He went
Yeah,
to a Maiden concert last year. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. Like Gotti. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Like on his
yeah.
thing. Yeah, 'cause like I said, the last concert I went to was Tool. That was like 2 Novembers ago in Charleston, West Virginia. Great ass concert though. I have it on my actual like YouTube channel. Like I can't even get into that anymore, which sucks. I wish I could.
So did you get off the phone with Ziggy Jan?
That was my tomato lady.
Oh, you're getting tomatoes. That's what you meant.
Yes.
Their tomato
Cool.
hookup.
Tomato,
Yeah,
my tomato delivery. Uh
Uber Uber
on its
tomatoes.
but I do have to actually go soon. Ziggy and I are gonna try to watch the last Pirates of the Caribbean, and we were looking at it last night when we were talking about watching it tonight, and he was like, what time do you want to start it? And I looked at it and I was like, holy shit, that movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That is a long
Dang.
movie. See, I got
Mhm.
confused. I was telling Baby Gotti earlier, I thought there were six of those movies because the third one, I thought they split it into two movies, a part one and a part two, but apparently no, it's just one
Oh,
and it's almost 3 hours. So
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, we
Hopefully
gotta
you,
start that before 9:30, of course.
hopefully you go to the bathroom beforehand on that one because you're gonna be sitting for a while for sure.
Well, that's the good thing about watching movies at home. I never did like going to the movie theaters for just that reason.
I didn't like going to the movie theaters because people
You
talk
know,
all the time in movies.
well,
And,
you leave and you go to the bathroom and you come back and the whole movie theater is has just erupted into laughter and you're just like, oh, well,
well,
great, great,
shit,
I
yeah,
missed it. Or everybody's crying, or you can tell like some big thing has just happened that you missed, and it's always, I don't know if that happens to you, but that always happens to me no matter
it
what.
does. Well, it does. So that's and then can't wait to. You won't know what it is until it comes out on DVD or whatever, Blu-ray or
Yeah,
whatever
Well,
you.
until it
Yeah.
comes out in streaming like platforms.
Right, everything's
But
going to streaming now. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm surprised. Like movie theaters are still kind of staying afloat, considering like you can just stream it from a new movie like right into your living room. Like, why would you want to go out spend $18 for a popcorn and two drinks, and you can sit in your underwear in the comfort of your own home?
I feel the same way. But sometimes if JT and I really really want to watch a movie like that we're anticipating, we'll go see it.
Right.
Yeah, there's a few things that like over the summer, me and my best friend went to see um we went to see what's it's Deadpool and Wolverine. We went to see that in the theater, and then we went to see the Beetlejuice movie when it came out. But not opening day, just that weekend when it came out.
Oh, that Beetlejuice movie though. Oh my gosh. It was all over the place. I just couldn't.
All over the place. I was
Well,
disappointed. I
I,
was
I don't want to
disappointed in Tim.
spoil
It was
anything for
good.
Baby Gotti, but yeah, like
It was still good, but because it's Tim Burton and he's
it was.
master at the craft.
I
But
mean, I think it could have been better, if the plot wasn't all over the place.
yeah, I mean, there were definitely some things that I thought could have been better, but
There were just a lot of things that led nowhere. That's all I'm gonna say, Baby Gotti. Like,
Oh, I
whenever
didn't.
you go see it.
I. I'm sorry. I stepped away for a second. What were you talking about? My bad.
Oh, the
Um,
second Beetlejuice movie.
oh, I'm not gonna watch it. I no. I'm. It should have never like. I'm not gonna probably watch it now. I mean, maybe. Fuck. I don't know. I'm so indecisive right now. My bad. Sorry. So Beetlejuice, don't go see it. Like, or I'm just gonna be really disappointed. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
More or
not
less.
it's not the original. It's not even close to the original. It's not even in the same ballpark as the original. It is a forced it's a forced
Cash grab. Cash grab.
There's just like a lot of
it's a forced
characters.
cash grab. It's a forced conclusion to a movie that already had a conclusion.
Conclusion. Okay.
Yeah,
So
there was just a lot of characters that weren't necessary. Like they didn't
right.
really
They did.
drive the plot.
Yeah, they didn't really need to remake or redo Beetlejuice, but that's like everything nowadays. Like they really don't need to remake or redo. Like they're gonna be doing Harry Potter again. Like they're gonna rebooting that series for the
Well,
movies.
okay, so the Beetlejuice thing was just it was so predictable.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that okay, so I won't I can't be too specific without
You
giving
can spoil it for me. I probably never watch it.
okay, all right. So when she meets that dude in the treehouse, I called it right out the gate. I'm like, he's dead. His whole family's dead. He killed them all. Boom.
Okay.
yeah.
And that is exactly what happened.
Jenna Ortega's character meets this ghost boy, and like, yeah, she doesn't figure it out until like a little bit later on
So basically,
that
it was a sixth sense.
he's dead and he killed his family, and it's like
Right.
it didn't go anywhere really.
Yeah, it didn't do anything for anybody. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like
Cool.
yeah, like
Well,
basically Beetlejuice just got rid of him because like Jenna Ortega's character had to get back to the world of the living, and it was just all over the place, that plot. And then they had William Dafoe come out like last minute, like to be a some sort of like under like undead cop or something. It was just bizarre to me.
okay. William Defoe and Beetlejuice. I didn't even know he was in Beetlejuice. William Defoe.
Yeah, he makes an appearance. I don't know
Yeah, like at
why.
the very end. I don't know why either. But I'm more into like, yeah, I guess I'm a horror movie guy. I'm a horror movie junkie. I don't know if you two are or
Uh,
not.
I can watch it. I can watch them, but I'm not.
I'm not as invested as I was before.
I'll be right.
Okay. So what kind of movies do you like
Because
then, Auntie Jane?
these days they only do like more demonic movies and like more paranormal stuff, and I'm just not really into it.
You're not into the paranormal at all?
No.
Okay. Well, I kind of am in the paranormal. Like I really do. I find it fascinating, like ghosts and stuff like that. But I'm still in like I still like the older horror movies a lot better, like from the 80s and 90s. They just have a better. I don't know. They made them better
Yeah.
back then than they do now.
Yeah, that
That's,
was their peak. Yeah, for
yeah,
real. Horror movies were way better back then.
correct. I do believe so. So I like the practical effects better than like the special like CGI and stuff or the AI or whatever you want to call it. Like to me, it just looks so campy and so fake having the CGI all the time. But I guess I'm an older school movie guy. I haven't really had anything like Prey. I watched Prey with the Predator stuff. I don't know. I think JT and I were talking about that. I don't know if you saw it though.
I mean, the new Predator wasn't bad.
Right.
Um,
It was decent. Like it was okay.
yeah, it was decent.
Hmm.
There are some that are, decent, but most of it is just garbage.
Garbage, trash. Yes, I agree. So that's why I tend to like watch older movies, older horror movies, and older paranormal stuff. So like that's how actually like how Shandcamp and I kind of like met was or got to be like really close friends was the paranormal stuff. We were both really into paranormal things. Oh. And like her house is like super haunted. Have you seen any of her videos on that?
No, I never have.
Like if you yeah, if you're interested in it, like you can hear people talk in her house and shit. She's got cameras all over the place. It's really freaking cool and fascinating.
Oh,
So
wow.
like people just talk like you hear out of what do they call it? Disembodied voices like in her house and in her hallways and stuff. It's bizarre. So cool though.
We watched a good one the other night called uh Hold Your Breath.
Okay.
It has Sarah Paulson in it, and it
Hmm.
was set in the 1930s in the Dust Bowl.
Hmm.
And I like psychological thrillers. I don't like the guts and gore, but if
Right.
it's psychological,
Yeah,
I'll that shit.
psychological. I'm more
There's another
psychological.
one that we watched, and I'm gonna tell you real quick, and then I have to end this abruptly because I'm running out of time. I gotta
Okay.
go. But there's another one that we watched this fall that had, I can't remember what the name of it is, but it just came out, and it's got James McAvoy in it, and I love James McAvoy, and he plays a psychopath,
Oh,
and he plays a good psychopath.
right.
What's it called? I'll look it
I
up for
don't
you.
know. Yeah, okay.
I'll tell you real quick.
Baby Gotti, do you have Discord?
I do not have Discord, no. I don't even have like I have a yeah, I don't really do social media all that much or at all.
Oh,
But
okay.
I will download it hopefully soon so I can get a hold of you guys. How's that? So I can become an official CFF member.
Speak no
Yeah.
evil. That's it. Speak
What's
no
it called?
evil.
Oh, Speak No
Speak no
Evil.
evil.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But she's gotta go because her and Zigglesworth has to
Yeah.
watch Pirates of the Caribbean.
All right, give my regards to Ziggy,
I
Jan.
Yes,
will.
so good for I. And thank you for having me up here, Miss Jan.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime, baby Gotti.
All right. Well, Miss Raina, hopefully I might see you a little bit later if somebody streams, but if not, then hopefully you and JT's have a wonderful evening.
All right. Thanks, baby Gotti. You too.
Not a problem. I will see y'all later.
Y'all have a good night.
You too.
You
Later.
too.
Yeah.